public, but there's no.
What was that? We just got to go over there. You've been around, but they're doing things. You need to be. I guess if I ever would do
Good to go. I was on the phone and I was watching Meredith and Meredith was in that ditch.
Oh, he does.
I'm trying to get one in to, yeah, I haven't been able to dig the ditch. Next thing I got, and I'm asking him, he's supposed to have came done it, but he hasn't yet, so I'm waiting on him to come and get out. I mean, it is so
Somebody sent you to me.
oh, it's bad. I
I
tried.
think they need to put that in the park.
Oh, yeah, they do.
When you put two slow.
Y'all ready?
Yes, because it's not so.
Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We're going to start with our prayer by Homer Watson. Mr. Homer. Amen. Then we'll go forward with the pledge by Miss Leanne.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Leanne. Next up is the board approval for the minutes.
Move.
Second.
Motion by Austin and second by Norris. Ms. Ann?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Next up is board approval for financials.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Norris and second by Sane. Miss Ann?
John Austin,
Yes.
John Pendleton,
Yes.
Johnny Norris,
Yes.
Willie Sine,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay. Next up will be our reports from our department heads. First up is Park and Rec. Sorry.
You have my report before you. I'll just give you a little update on the, we'll be opening the pool. Allen Pool will be coming here in a week or so and start working on the pool, and we're going to have the pool open by May the 30th. I have the lifeguards hired. I have a adult or individual over 18 that will be the office manager, and she is also a lifeguard certified, so if someone has to step out or something, she'll be certified and everything, so we're covered on that. Day count, we've already got 15 kids signed up. So I showed you here kind of a little bit of how we're going to work the work schedule, and if we have to get more because of how many we have to have per kids or number of kids, then I'll work on that at a later time. Freedom Fest, I guess need to bring before you Gloryland Sound. I checked with them. They're $650 on putting or doing the music this year. I asked Mr. Wayne Whitten, and he was $750, and I asked Jeremy Hurst, and Jeremy said that he just wasn't interested in doing it this year. So I guess we need to, do we need to vote on that, Mayor?
Not unless the Alderman will vote on
I
it.
just knew it was over 500, so I wanted to bring it to the board and make sure I was okay on that. Music, I've got the music lined up, and if you see down there, I have been working on getting sponsors for this year's festival. So I've already got a $2,000 sponsor with Wade Inc. out of Corinth, Mississippi. The Band of Joneses, Mr. John Spears works with them, and he's over the Band of Joneses, so he got us that donation, and I think that's a great donation and a great start. I figure around, with our music, the sound, and the fireworks, around 5,000. So I'm at 2350. I'm halfway. So also, I put in your packet tonight the parade permits for the Freedom Festival parade and also the Christmas parade. I had not been told any different of when they would be, so I went ahead and put the Christmas parade December the 3rd on that first Sunday, like we've been doing it the last few years. And then, of course, the 4th of July parade will be on July the 4th at 12 noon. I've got your maps drawn there and everything. If you have any questions about any of that, I'll be glad to answer them. And also, Michaela said that she's going to try and rush the contract through once it comes back to her desk, but it's still laying on someone's desk up in T-Deck, and we're waiting on it to come back. So once that comes, then we can get started back, bring the contractors back, and try and get some stuff going for Patriot Park. Have any questions or anything? Mayor, would you like the original parades?
I don't have to have it. Copy will be fine.
Okay.
Miss Ann
Who
might
do I
want the
give it to
original.
to sign, though?
Oh, I guess it would be us, or me, or all of us, or somebody. So
So do
we'll
I
sign
give
it
them-
afterwards.
Okay.
Yes.
We need to make a motion to approve those like
Okay.
always.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the Christmas parade permit and the 4th of July parade permit.
I'll second that.
Okay. Miss Ann.
John Alderman,
Yes.
John Phillips,
Yes.
Johnny Norris,
Yes.
Louis Gunn,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay. Next up is the police department.
During the month of April, we had 341 calls for service, which resulted in 41 incident reports. We worked 18 traffic crashes and wrote 100 citations for the month of April. Be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Next up is fire department.
For the month of April, we responded to 40 medical calls. 8 of those was outside the city. We had 3 structure fires, 2 grass fires, worked 2 automobile accidents. We had 5 false calls, 1 agency assist, and 17 public assist, roadway hazards, and transformers that caught on fire, for a total of 70 calls. We done 9 inspections. We had 2 training meetings for a total of 60 hours. Our standby time was 2,397 hours. If you have any questions, I'll answer.
Next up is utility division.
For the month of April, we repaired 3 gas leaks, 15 water leaks, made 3 gas taps, 5 water taps, pumped 66,523,000 gallons of water, and treated 18 million gallons of wastewater. Any questions? Thank you.
Next up is street and sanitation.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. For the month of April, we processed 298 work orders. We picked up and disposed of 110, almost 111 tons of garbage. We picked up and disposed of a little over 10 tons of bulk. We cleared culvert, dug ditches as an ongoing continuous basis. We had 4 after hours dispatch calls. Put out 4 tons of cold mix on potholes and water cuts. We put out 8 tons of hot mix We received 2 tons of recycling, and the reason why that was a little low is because we had to dump it early in order to get bulk on the garbage truck. So we did 1 pavement repair for SUD out in the county. We mowed town of Selmer twice. So, any other questions? Thank you.
Next up will be city attorney.
Mayor Board, it's the significant thing that hit my desk this month was I guess I'll just call it the sidewalk contract. Mayor had approved it, and they asked me to approve it, of course, for legal effect. And if you get a chance, I just encourage all of you to read it, because those contracts are pretty technical. Parts of it, I don't claim to understand the technical side, but we've had a hiccup or two with these state contracts. Take your time between now and next month to read that contract. Then if you got any questions, we'll pass them on to the people that can answer. They're different than any contract we ever read. I'm sure the mayor knows that. So if you got any, just let me encourage you to read it, and then we'll ask any questions. And on the other item, I just want you to know, I just saved the city $100. Chief Carr and Chief Holly are willing to sing at this festival for $5.50.
Oh.
So just
As you as a lead singer.
Okay, thank y'all for that. And next up, we do have some old business. We're to discuss the speed bump again. We're going to vote on that. Higginbottom Lane, I guess everybody has kind of went up there and looked at it, whether to remove it or to keep it.
I make a motion to keep it.
Okay.
Second.
Motion to keep the speed bump on Higginbottom Lane. Motion made by Finlayson and motion made by Sane and second by Finlayson. I'm sorry. Miss Ann?
John Austin.
Yes.
John Fiddleson.
Yes.
Johnny Norman.
Yes.
Louis Sane.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. We're done with that. Next up, if y'all don't mind, I was going to before we go into the new businesses, let Miss Jill Holland from Southwest just come speak, if that's okay to move her up and let her speak for a minute to the board. She wanted to meet the board, just give y'all a little information about what she does, and I'll just let her have the floor.
Thank you.
Miss Jill.
I'm Jill Holland, and I am the Local Government and Special Projects Coordinator for Southwest Tennessee Development District. And I know that Mayor Inman knows all about the Development District, but I thought it might be a good idea to come and tell you what we do, and that we're actually an extension of the cities, of each one of the 35 cities in these 8 counties that we represent. And we exist solely to help you all in whatever way that we can. Each city and county pays dues. It's not a whole lot, but when you think about it, you really own us because you're our stockholders. So that is why we exist by the state of Tennessee to directly help you in whatever way that we can. Speaking as a former mayor for the city of McKenzie for 12 years, the development district provides continuity in the government because the administrations can change, and sometimes when that happens, it's like a roller coaster ride, but the development districts are the anchor. They're the solid anchor, and they stay the same. Our grant writers work with you through the state departments, with ECD, with Parks and Rec, with Transportation, with Health, and all of the other departments of the state. We have a direct pipeline to those. So any questions you have or any grants that you have, that comes through us, and we're able to pass that information on to you all. Our grant writers are also able to work directly with our planners The planners know what cities have the zoning and the land use plan for those cities, and they know that, hey, you know, this city might benefit from such and such a grant. So there's that continuity that is divided or dispersed to the cities. The development district actually provides like a one-stop shop experience for our cities and our counties. You don't have to shop around, possibly the right hand not knowing what the left hand is doing, because you're working with us that are the central dispatch for all of that. So as you all know, continuity is the key for smooth government and also smooth government transitions. McKinsey, we actually had a planner while the state still had their planning office. And then some of you who've been here a while know that the state dissolved that planning office through Governor Haslam. But because our planner knew our land use plans, he knew our zoning, that we worked out a contract between Northwest, which we were in Northwest Tennessee Development District, we worked it out with Southwest to retain the planner. And I know that you all have a planner and you're very, very happy with him, but if you ever, if he retires or decides to move or you're in need of another planner, you might think about Southwest, because Southwest would have that continuity that could help you with planning and zoning and the grants that you might need to move forward. We also house the area agency on aging and disabilities, and I put a card on each of your chairs, and I've also brought pamphlets that you can pass out, either keep it here at City Hall, you could put them in your senior citizen center, but many times we would have someone in the community that would call and they would say, hey, my neighbor, I know they're not getting the right food to eat. I think they need health care. And we were able to put them in touch with the area Aging and Disability Association. And so it's amazing, so many of the free services that are available to these people, but they're not aware of it. So that can help you all if somebody asks you, and you can also send it to your senior citizens. What I'd like to know today, if any of you have any ideas about how we can help you. I know in talking with some of the other cities, some of them are not aware of all the grants that are available, or maybe the grant protocol. Some of the mayors did not realize that you just can't decide when you get a grant that you're going to go ahead and bid it out, but you actually have a protocol to go through, or you lose all that. And so you certainly can't bid it until the state gives you the go-ahead on it, because you want to get back all the funds that grant, of course, will give you. You all also are a Tennessee Downtown, and you should be very, very proud of that, because that positions you to receive other grants and also notoriety across the state. Now, last week I was talking to the district consultant for Tennessee Downtowns and Main Street, Laura Todd. You may know her, but she listed to me a very few of our Tennessee downtowns that she felt like were ready to move to the next level, which is, of course, Main Street, Tennessee. Selmer was one of those that was listed. So it would be great if you all can take those steps to move toward Tennessee Main Street, because many times when people and industries and businesses are looking to move to your town, when they see that you're a Tennessee Downtown or Tennessee Main Street, we're actually one of the few states actually invented Tennessee Downtowns out of all the country. Of course, Main Street's been around a long time, but Tennessee Downtowns is like Main Street on training wheels. So it's getting you ready to move to the next level. But they will choose a city, a community that is a Main Street community. So that's something that you all can decide yourself, but we will be glad to put you in touch with whomever we need to. if you are interested in moving to the next level. One more thing that I will tell you, that the last quarterly meeting for the main streets in Tennessee downtowns, we were told that Ford is, I think it's the Ford Foundation, is looking to put funding into cities that are in their area, and I would certainly consider Selmer and McNairy County and the Ford area. They will be drawing a workforce from there, but they're looking into putting funds into their downtown development. And I sent Mayor Inman an email today. If it may not have come through yet, okay, but you can check, and you'll need to send any visual plans that have been approved to Nancy Williams, who is the Estate Main Street Director.
Yes, thank you for that.
So,
Yes.
and I appreciate it. Do you all have any questions or anything that you would like us to do for you that maybe I haven't covered or I need to take back?
Questions?
You just wish I would be quiet so you could
No,
get out of
no,
here.
no, you
I've sat in that
remember.
seat
You
before.
remember.
I know.
No.
But
No,
please call me if you need me. Sure.
I have a question. On the downtown Main
Uh-huh.
Street thing that you're talking about here, am I correct in saying that you have to have a full-time person in that position to qualify for that next step? I think
Well-
that's been our problem in the past when we tried to do that, is we do not have a full-time Main Street coordinator.
And that's what they ask for. What they don't tell you, and it may change, but in McKenzie, we could not afford a full-time person. So one of our employees, she doubled up on her duties, and it was actually our city recorder. And she also became kind of the overseer of
Oh, Miss Ann says no.
but you've got to have someone. Now, if you have and a lot of that depends on how active your steering committee is, and really getting them involved. But we, up until now they may change it, but I know right now we still have
I knew when
a person.
we applied for the downtown, that was one of the requirements
Yeah.
that was in that grant when I applied for that and got that grant.
So you start thinking about, say, okay, who else would like to do this? Who else could we give a little bit more money to do this? And also, our chamber director, we have I don't know, do y'all have a city or county chamber? Or both? County?
Kinda have a
County
both.
chamber. Okay.
Tourism
We, our chamber director, and who also doubled as the industrial board director, that kind of came under her umbrella too. So we kind of shared the responsibilities between two. But sometimes you have to kind of be creative. But that's what we did. And it's worked so far. So, okay. Anybody else? All right. Thank you all. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
so much. Thank you. Okay, we'll go into, the next thing is we will need to get board approval for our building inspector, Mr. Brandon Vaughn, by recommendation of our hiring committee. So do I hear a motion from the board to hire Mr. Brandon Vaughn to be our new building inspector?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Willie Sane and second by Finlayson. Do y'all have any questions? Anybody? Okay.
John Austin,
Yes.
John Fennelson,
Yes.
Johnny Norris,
Yes.
Willie Sane,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay. Congratulations, Mr. Brandon. Do you want to say anything or?
I just want to say that I really appreciate this opportunity. I'm really looking forward to this, really excited to be a part of the town of Selmer and to be a part of the growth of the town. I'm really excited. This is awesome.
You're not
Thank you.
nervous, are you?
Maybe just a little bit.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. And congratulations. Next up is vote to approve Rayolette. I'm gonna let Ray, if you have, where is Ray? There he is. Guess you have the bids in your, he gave us the bids a while ago, so. Vote to approve Rayolette to go ahead with the bids on the new building and start by the bids that you've received. Any questions on that, or y'all want to ask before, or y'all want to make a motion to go ahead?
Well, I spoke about it last night. You have the bids in front of you. One of them is very detailed. One of them was not so much. And, you know, made several attempts to get it corrected, but didn't seem that the working relationship was there. So we put an ad in the local paper for 2 weeks. We never got one bid. I searched people out to get bids. These were the two that responded, and I can move forward with the project.
So we have design team and
We have design team and K&B.
and K&B.
Make a motion to go ahead with the design team.
I second it.
Okay. Motion to go ahead with Rayolette's new office building with the design team made by Austin and second by Sam. Any questions? Okay. Ms. Sam?
Yes.
John Phillips.
Yes.
Johnny Norris.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, next up will be a vote on the second reading of the ordinance of rezoning the Knight's property from R3 to M1. If we do this tonight, make the motion, we will go ahead on May 10th. This will make this a ordinance official. So this will be the last reading. Do I
So
hear?
moved.
Second.
Motion made by Norris and second by Austin. Any questions on that? Okay.
John Austin.
Yes.
John Phillips.
Yes.
Johnny Norris.
Yes.
Willie Sane.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Second up is on the voting for this is a second reading for the codes, rules of Departments of Commerce and Insurance Division of Fire Prevention. This is the codes that was given to us that we needed to adopt from the State Fire Marshal's Office. Do I hear a motion to do the second?
Move. Second.
Okay, motion by Austin, second by Finlayson. Any questions? Ms. Ann?
John Austin.
Yes.
John Phillips.
Yes.
Johnny Norris.
Yes.
Willie Sane.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, next up is to declare surplus on the Selmer Police Department 2014 Chevy Tahoe, VIN number 1GNLC2E05ER182409.
I'm just asking to declare the surplus. There's very little of it left. It was totaled.
Oh, okay.
Totaled a couple years ago. We used it last year to fix another one where we cut part of the back end off of it. We pulled the motor and transmission out of it. A couple weeks ago, we pulled the rear end out of it. So when I say surplus it, I think Chief Carter will
SMC.
use it for something. So after he gets done with it, it'll actually be carried to SMC. So that'll be
That
the
sounds-
surplus end of it.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Norris, second by Sane. Any questions? Ms. Ann?
John Austin.
Yes.
John Phillips.
Yes.
Johnny Norris.
Yes.
Willie Sane.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up is, declare surplus on street and sanitation vehicle number 111, 2005 Chevy, and then number 175, 2005 Chevy. These are two work trucks we identified last night by Alderman Austin. Declare for those to go into surplus, and I hear a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Finlayson and second by Norris. Any questions? Ms. Ann?
John Austin.
Yes.
John Phillips.
Yes.
Johnny Norris.
Yes.
Willie Sane.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up is to get board approval for the new committee members on the planning committee. The ones was Sherry Kaiser, Brett Hill, and Homer Watson. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Motion by Sines,
Second.
second by Norris. Okay, thank you for that. Ms. Sands?
John Austin,
Yes.
John Middleton,
Yes.
Johnny Norris,
Yes.
Willie Sines,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, next up, and I don't know if you want to hear anything from Fire Chief, Selmer Fire Department, asking board approval for a rescue squad grant for $28,610. I'm assuming this is rescue squad I bid. Go ahead and
Yes.
verify that. Make sure.
Yeah, we bid it out to get new extrication gear, and they now make some that is arc-proof, so it's supposed to work on the new electric vehicles. It's a 100% grant, no match. So we've bidded it out, and you've got 3 different companies that bidded on the stuff, and there was NAFCO, Safeco Industry, and Emergency Wire out of Alabama.
Okay, all right. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Motion by Norris, second
Second.
by Finlayson. Ms. Sands?
John Austin.
Yes.
John Middleton.
Yes.
Johnny Norris.
Yes.
Willie Sines,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay. Do we have any, that concludes our businesses for what we had on the agenda, but do we have anything, questions or comments from the audience? Does anybody? Ms. Melba?
Does the city of Selmer have a leash law for roaming animals? My understanding is there is. I will verify that.
Okay. We do have a leash law, is that correct? I don't have a building inspector here that would be able to yet answer that, but Mr. Chief Hawley,
Yes,
can you
we do.
address that? Yes.
Okay, so what does a resident in the city of Selmer do when you have multiple huge animals roaming through? I've even called the police on one of them. I believe in supporting local business, but my vet bills are getting outrageous because I can't get anyone in our neighborhood to stop. And I've got them on camera, huge, huge dogs.
Do we know who the dogs belong to?
I've seen some of them at the house down the street from me. I don't know them. I think the ones across from the street from me, they kind of keep theirs on a leash, but, I mean, my cat right now is in a tree with a big hole in his neck, with been to the vet twice in the past week. And unfortunately, I have to keep a cat because the people next door have left a filthy mess that don't want to mow or anything else, so to keep the mice down out of our neighborhood and out of our house, I need a cat.
So to answer, there is a leash law. If we knew who the animal belongs to, we try to go out to give them courtesy and say, will you put your dog up? It needs to be in a pen or on a leash. Go back the next time, we can write them a citation, if we know who the owner is.
Okay?
If we don't know who the owner is, of course, we can't do that. And we do not, and if we don't know who an owner is, we don't have a place to.
I mean, I don't know their name, I can
Right,
tell you the house.
right. But then going further than that, if we just say there's a stray out there.
Oh,
we-
no, these aren't strays.
Okay, so,
I've got the video.
let me get with you after the meeting, tell me where they're at, and we'll go from there.
Okay, because I was told, I mean, I don't own a gun, but I'm not against going to get one. I know that's ugly to
No, we don't wanna
say,
talk about that.
But,
Don't talk about that.
you know, I'm, you know,
After the meeting, we'll talk. Can you tell me who and where?
oh, I'm getting that BB gun now, I can shoot from BBs, I don't know how to shoot real.
Thank you, Melba. Thank you. Anybody else from the audience? Oh, yes, go ahead. I'm sorry, Homer.
Okay, now, what about the stray animals? Do we have any way to pick them up, or what do we do?
No,
No.
So they just run around?
we have no way to pick them up and we have no work.
Okay, but I'm just saying.
Here.
What can we do about the stray animals? I have the same problem.
Well, I mean, that is a problem.
It is
We
a problem.
have no
They've
way.
killed my chickens,
We
they've
have no
cut
way of
my
picking 'em up.
yard, they've destroyed stuff.
I mean, there is a place at the airport, they might take puppies.
They don't take them anymore.
Well, see,
I mean, I was told we could shoot them, if they're on.
what,
Oh.
man, we ain't talking about,
I'm telling her.
It is a problem.
we ain't talking about shooting nothing.
It is a
okay?
problem. It is.
In other words, we know we got a problem with that. Now we need to get a solution, right?
Well,
Amen.
the solution is lots of money.
Yep.
That's the problem.
Yep.
Thank you.
as far as the animal shelter controlled by us, I think Savannah spends about $500,000 to $850,000 a year on animal shelter.
Okay, so then we just get.
That's more than our tax income.
Yeah, that's what I mean by a solution is lots of money.
I mean, and I know we'll talk, but I mean, I feel terrible calling dispatch and hey, I've got these dogs out here running around when y'all got more important things.
But then y'all used to take the car in, they used to take the car in, I know Roger Rick.
I think that Tina Churchville did.
Y'all think of that?
Yeah, see, we have no place to carry them, nobody.
Nobody will take animals.
When they start attacking people, then we're gonna have to run. We're gonna get some lawsuits here.
Well, we'll definitely look into. Well, thank you for that. Yes, it is a problem. Yes, Homer, it is. We wish we had a solution. County was looking into something. I'm sure Patricia can, that's been brought up several times in the county side too, and it's hard. It's hard. We would love to have a solution. We've been asking, so don't think we haven't been looking and asking for funds or, help. We did have somebody that did, like he said, open up the shelter on Airport Road, but I think it just didn't go the way they thought it was going to go, so.
If I did call dispatch and they're busy, they don't get there and the dog is gone, what do I do then? It's like my word against theirs, like I said, and I'll talk with.
Yes, you can talk.
But, like I said, I've got plenty of video of them all hours of the night.
Bless you, I know. I'm sorry. Well, talk
It's not your fault.
talk
I
to
just
Chief
wanna know
Hall.
what to do, 'cause it ain't just me
Yeah.
complaining, but I have small children in my house sometimes with keeping nephews and things, and you have to it's terrible.
I understand.
It's terrible.
Okay, anybody else? Yes? Yeah, if you need to speak to the board.
Everybody here probably knows me, but my name's Rodney Murray. I'm a citizen and a taxpayer of Selmer. I've been to see the chief of police on several occasions. I've seen Mayor Inman a couple of times on this matter. I'm bringing a complaint today against the city of Selmer and the chief of police for not enforcing the codes of Tennessee. I have the codes here. I'll give you yours here now.
Oh, okay.
I got yours signed. Now, I did not, on these codes I put down here, says I'm filing a complaint against the city of Selmer and the chief of police for refusal or failure to enforce the following state vehicle codes that was set forth by the state of Tennessee. I've got the codes listed. I did not explain each code. I have that in writing that I'm going to give to the mayor. And also, I don't know how many of you have y'all go down the road and have a rock chip, especially from these wide tires on these pickup trucks. They're oversized. About every state in the union has got a law that they have to have fender flares. I'm getting tired of my front. I paid $50,000 for my pickup truck. It's got rock pecks all over the hood. I was going to town the other day in my Lincoln and had something thrown at it. I thought it busted the windshield. Got to Walmart, wasn't a windshield. I got a dent in the hood of my car from one of them wide tires, and I was behind the truck that did it. But I didn't know what he hit because I didn't see any damage to the windshield at the time. I didn't notice until I got to Walmart what it actually was. And I don't know what the code is for that, but surely there's a law somewhere, and I just couldn't find it.
Okay.
But here's your copy, signed Mayor Emmons. And the reason I'm giving you these codes, because you are the boss of the police department.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay. What these codes, first code contains to is noise level. When I'm sitting in my house in my recliner, 150 feet from the highway, and somebody goes by my house, my recliner vibrates. That is a noise ordinance. These amps in these cars need to stop. These people running up and down the road, and I'm sure Mr. Norris can testify. There's one that lives right up there by the church of the old Murray Beer Joint. I don't believe he's got a muffler one on his vehicle. And that's another code that's got to be addressed. That's one of the other codes. Another one is bumpers. I see them in town all day long without a bumper on the vehicle. I even asked a county deputy one day if there's a law for bumpers in the county, in the state of Tennessee. He said yes, there was. It just so happened there's a Jeep sitting out the gas pump at the gas station where he was at. I said, how about him? He said, he ain't got a bumper anywhere on that vehicle. I don't see nothing wrong with it. You just told me it was a law. I mean, you know, you got to have a bumper, absorption bumper. The other one is height of vehicles. Have any of you ever measured the height of one of these pickup trucks or SUVs? The code there says how high it's got to be or how low it's got to be. Now, I'm just throwing these codes in. These really don't bother me. The height on stuff don't bother me until somebody rear ends me, comes up over top of my vehicle. Then it would bother me real bad. But another one is headlights. I even asked a city policeman one day, I said, you know, it's illegal for any color headlights besides white or yellow or amber on the front of a vehicle? Oh, no, just if they're flashing. No, the state code says any color. Blue, pink, purple, green. I see them all the time. Another thing is the height of headlights. Do y'all know what the height of the headlights are? If you go out 75 feet away from the vehicle with a tape measure, the height of the headlights can only be 42 inches. Any higher than that, they're illegal. So these people go around with these jacked up vehicles or illegal headlights. You can't give them a ticket for jacking up the vehicle, but you can give them a ticket for the headlights being too high. I guarantee you, if y'all start giving tickets, people are going to start obeying them, one way or the other, or they'll get tired of paying them tickets. The day I sat on my front porch, there was a city officer sitting at the church up there where I live. Two vehicles went by with their amps up. Boom, 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 boom. He never even looked at them. I don't know if they're not told to give the tickets to them or they just don't know the law. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for letting us take a chance of looking at this. Thank you. Anybody else have anything? Please.
I'll try not to take much of your time, Janet Rail, and I have been working with Bo Svensson on bringing a motion picture to Hardin and McNairy counties. Bo he played Buford Pusser in the last two Walking Tall movies and the television series, and he hooked up with Ron Gant. Ron Gant, bless his heart, I know he just suffered a heart attack, but he was the lead on this initiative, and this was back in June. So Bo played this role 40 years ago. He's now 82, and he's very active. And he was here. He's now a screenplay writer. He's been in 100 films and the last 3 Quentin Tarantino movies. You know, he's very active as an actor and a screenplay writer. And he has a company called Magic Quest Entertainment, and when he was out at a film festival in Memphis last June, Steve Sweat and I think it was Mr. Lax, I can't remember, Johnny Lax, I think from Jackson, brought him here just for a couple of hours in the courthouse to sign some photographs from his movies 40 years ago. He stayed a couple hours, he met a lot of our people, and he and Ron Gant and Larry Smith and Steve Sweat and a lot of the guys were talking about how unfortunate it was that McNairy County didn't benefit financially from the movies 40 years ago. So he said maybe we can do something about that, and actually he and Ron Gant started working together, and Ron was pitching it at the state, and what we have discovered is the state will kick in once there's a production company involved with tax incentives, and they're up to 40% for talent. The state has really increased those. It's 40% for talent for the production, and if they hire a Tennessean, they get 10% more. And so what Bo is proposing is that he wants to do a movie called He Returns. It will be lightly based on the life of Buford Pusser, and he wants to come here and meet with everyone and figure out how to make it relative to today's times. And he said it would involve at least 200 good-paying jobs, would bring potentially millions to the community. And we have sought out one partner in Bob Shutt, and he is willing to raise $109,000, half of the money we would need to raise for the production. We're hoping that McNairy County collectively, with all of the community, all of the cities in the county, could come up with $109,000. So say if Selmer gave 40, just for an example, trying to reach our mark. You guys would own the screenplay. I know everybody got the information in their emails, and last night when we talked, I did give you a copy of the proposal. So it's an investment, and I know a lot of the talk has been about how can we raise revenue. And this is something that we can really do to raise revenue and raise awareness. And Ron is really for it. I think Ron Paige Wiley is coming. We're having a meeting Friday at 9 o'clock in the industrial park. And everyone has been invited. And anyone, we'd love to have you there. But to talk about a two-pronged thing, to try to get a movie, motion picture, and get McNairy County and Hardin counties to work together and shoot the movie in both locations. And to also, work together, the two counties on rural tourism. Because like Bob Shutt was telling me, he's really taking charge of this and taking a lead role. He was like, anything that will help West Tennessee and raise money and give me economic value, I'm all for it. Savannah's getting ready to put in a $25 million marina to the right of the bridge. They've got everything in order. They're going to have a new hotel, condos, multiple slips. And what Bob was saying, he said, if McNairy County and Hardin County could work together, he said, we have wonderful assets. You have wonderful assets, we have wonderful assets, and we're building this new marina. He said, without either one of us having the opportunity, at least in the first phase of Blue Oval, to have a manufacturing plant move here, and we don't have a building to shop here in this county, he said we can attract a lot of the people that are going to be moving into Haywood County, which is going to be a large number of people, to come to our counties for tourism events. If we could get this movie going, we would get McNairy County and Hardin County on the map. And just to give you an example of economic development, and I'll stop, Memphis filmed a portion of the season 3 of The Young Rock with Dwayne Johnson. And Dwayne Johnson was the last one to do a Walking Tall movie in 2004, if y'all remember. And it was lightly based on Buford's life, very lightly based. But they made $37 million in economic revenue in Memphis in that part of that season 3. Dwayne Johnson has been approved to come back for season 4, 5, and 6, and he is committed to come back to Memphis. And the economic development growth engine, they're called EDGE in Memphis, has predicted just on that one television series, they're anticipating $74 million a year economic, revenue and growth from that one series. So Memphis is, really trying to really focus on the film industry, as is Knoxville. Memphis is number 17 on the movie makers, where to live if you're a movie maker. Knoxville, a smaller market, is in the top 10 in the country, number 6. So if we can figure out how to work together and get these jobs here, it would probably, the ideal is to start production next year. He wanted September, but we're behind. So if you would consider, the investment, you would get 1.5 times your money back, 5% of the production. And if you wanted to invest more, the opportunity is there in the contract. And worst case scenario, Bo said if he can't sell to a production company, he knows he can sell the screenplay, he will get the money back to you. So his point is, Bo's words, and I'll close with this. He said, I don't think you guys in McNairy County and Hardin County know what the assets you really have. And obviously, with all the work y'all have done to get the downtown in shape to move to be, like a model downtown with these new grants, this would help bring some revenue to help you do that and to do more. But Bo was saying the Walking Tall movies, even in the 70s to date, made $90 million collectively. He said Australia, New Zealand, and Europe were where the movie was most popular. Even today, if you talk to Tina Mullis at the Buford Pusser Museum, she's constantly having Europeans and people from Australia and those areas coming into the museum. So he feels like people from those countries would pay big bucks to come and get a little piece of Americana that we take for granted. And they love small towns. So I would just appreciate any consideration you guys might give. We're trying to, like I said, you're all invited to the meeting Friday. Bob Shutt is going to chair it. Ron can't obviously be there, but Paige Wally will be there on Zoom, and Joe Barker, who is your representative for the West Tennessee Blue Oval Project from all the mayors, he will be there as well. So we're just trying to get a meeting of the minds so we can see if we can make this happen and make all of our lives better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have anything? Okay.
Well, you know who I am. You know I'm here. You guys wanted some time to think, so have you thought?
Yes, were you here a while ago? We went ahead and run this through. The guys have gentleman has looked at it, Alderman, and went out and looked at the site, made their decision, and a while ago it was voted on. So
To do what?
To remain, to stay.
Remain to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hope everybody's ready.
Anybody else? Okay. Nobody else has anything else? Make a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Thank you all for coming out.
What did we get? The day after, that Thursday after he told that, I went to Lexington, and they got 3 on the street going to one off. They call them speed humps. They're about that wide, they're about that tall.
Well, I didn't bring.
We need to do something.
Oh yeah, we've got to have those.
We've got to do that.